Hello everyone, my name's Mispa. Welcome back to another video. So we've had a heat wave this week and today's the first day where it's cooled down enough for me to come and work in the garden. I've just picked some tomato plants, they've done really well. This is the variety Moneymaker, and I've also grown the large beef tomatoes and the small cherry tomatoes that are black. I've grown those for the first time this year. So this week I've stayed in a lot and I read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, so I'll do a book review of that at the end of the video. But I did have one day where I went on a day trip to the Lake District. So the Lake District is really picturesque, it's always beautiful every season, and I'll share some of the footage with you so you can see how the beauty of the lakes and the hills around. It was quite hot and crowded, but I still had a relaxing day. So I went to Windermere and I did a steamer cruise on Lake Windermere, followed by a nostalgic train journey on a steam train. So the cruise lasted 40 minutes, and then the steam train journey was 18 minutes. So it was all quite relaxed and quite doable. So I'll share that footage with you as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I'll see you next time.
I've dropped mine. Don't worry about mine.
This point is the Windermere car ferry, named Mallard. She pulls herself across the lake using 2 steel cables, carrying up to 50.
Good afternoon. Tickets, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So in this part of the video, I'm going to do a mini book review of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It was published in 1818 and written by Mary Shelley when she was only 18 years old. And I'm going to go through 4 reasons why I think it's a good read. So first of all, the language, the writing and the descriptions are really immersive and very intense. I love the way she writes about nature. So even though there are lots of wintry scenes and you could say it was a winter book, I actually enjoyed reading it in the summer because there are beautiful passages describing the countryside in Italy and Switzerland and England. So her writing is really beautiful. The second reason is because the writing frame is really clever. And the story is told, revealed a little bit at a time. So it starts with a sailor or an explorer, and he's out on a mission and he's writing letters home to his sister. So the book starts in letter form. And he describes how the hardships he's facing as he's going through the mountains. And he then comes upon a man who's wandering around. And this man he rescues, and it's Victor Frankenstein. And so a little at a time we get Frankenstein's story being revealed to the sailor who's rescued him. And Frankenstein's story is that he was a scientist. He studied science at university, and it was his dream to come up with an experiment or a way of giving life to inanimate objects. And he thought that by doing this, he could stop the body from decaying and dying, and he would produce good for mankind. And his experiments would help mankind. But instead, what he does is he puts together limbs and parts of different corpses and gives them a way of coming together and gives them life. We never get the scientific details, and Mary Shelley cleverly just makes very vague references to science and refers to he gets some energy from lightning. But we don't actually go into details, which I think is a good thing because the experiments would have been so ludicrous. But he succeeds and he creates this creature. As soon as he sees what he's created, he's horrified and repulsed, and the creature runs away. And then the rest of the book, Victor Frankenstein is petrified of what is unleashed, and then strange things start happening to members of his family, and he realises that the creature is actually coming back and seeking revenge upon him. So I won't give away too many spoilers, but it becomes more a tale of a hunted and revenge. So it is so much more than the Hollywood movies where there is just this creature that then goes around murdering and wrecking villages. It's so much more complex than that. The third reason why I like the book is because sometimes you have Victor Frankenstein's point of view and you're in his head and you feel repulsed at what is created, and you see the revenge that the creature is going to take, and you are scared with Victor Frankenstein. But at other times, very cleverly, Mary Shelley gives the story from the point of view of the creature. And so you are in his head, and he starts off as a kind of baby, and he has to learn how to feed himself and how to survive. He hides in the woods and he watches a family and sees that he hears them speaking and sees how they behave, and he teaches himself language and how to speak, and then he teaches himself how to read, and you go through that process with him. And then you enter his mind and you realise that what he actually wants is to fit in and to have a place on earth and to have a place in the world where people aren't attacking him or repulsed by him. And he starts off by actually not doing anything wrong. But everywhere he goes, he's attacked by humans. And eventually he wants to seek out his creator, Victor Frankenstein, and he wants revenge. And you can actually have sympathy with him. So I think the clever writing is that sometimes you feel sympathy with Victor Frankenstein, and then other times you feel sympathetic with the creature because he wants a companion and he wants to live peacefully somewhere. It reminded me of the story of Heathcliff, where it's really a story about revenge. So there are touches of Wuthering Heights and Heathcliff in here. And then the fourth reason why I recommend this book is because there have been so many different Hollywood versions made of Frankenstein and so many different films where you see this creature and you see such a simplistic viewpoint and such a simplistic story. And actually the book wasn't at all like that, and it wasn't what I expected, and it was a really good read. So it was actually, it was more about what does it mean to actually be human and what does it mean to actually have a place in the world, rather than just this idea of a monster. So it was a much more complex book than I originally thought. So I recommend it as a good read. It's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.